Hi everyone, it's Taylor with Daily again, and today we're going to go over the first and only vice presidential debate of the 2020 presidency race. Now I know there's a ton of videos out there that are going over these debates, but I think that there's not a lot of people out there that are actually discussing the platform issues and the stances people are taking in these debates. I think they're probably more obsessed with the fly landing on Pence's head, which, don't get me wrong, was hilarious, and it's a little bit of brevity in this very serious moment, but I want to take a moment to focus more on the policy issues that were discussed and not necessarily the back and forth, the banter, and all of the he said, she said type of stuff. So with that, we're going to roll the intro. First and foremost, there are two rules to this video. The first is always remain as objective as possible. I try to do that with every video, everything I talk about, and if you ever find me not being objective, I want you to point it out. I really do. I appreciate the feedback, really, because what I want to do is look at the facts, understand the facts, present them, and then make decisions based on those facts. And that is what I want to do with everything. Now, the second rule is to take this debate within a nutshell and just say what happened in the debate, takes everything in the context of the debate, not bring in a bunch of articles and all this other stuff from outside, but what was said in the debate and what it actually means. So the first part of this video, we'll talk about the actual policies that each candidate presented within the debate. And the first one that I want to talk about is the coronavirus response. If each candidate should win the election, what are they going to do with the coronavirus after they win? And Joe Biden's campaign, Kamala Harris, came out and said that they're going to invest in contact tracing as well as make sure that the vaccine is completely free for every American. And Pence's response was that they're just going to stay the course and keep doing what they're doing because it's working. The next question that was asked that each candidate actually took a stance on was about the health of the president. And Senator Harris said that the health of the president is something that all Americans and voters should know about. It should be completely transparent what is going on with the president so that Americans know how healthy their leaders are. And Pence said that basically what America has seen so far with Trump catching the coronavirus and how they've come out with the information about Trump catching coronavirus and how he's doing, that is going to we're going to maintain those levels of transparency. Now, what you feel about those levels of transparency is up to you, but he said that they're going to stay the course. Senator Harris was asked about increasing taxes and whether or not she thought that would slow down the economic recovery after the COVID crisis, and her response drew some pretty hard lines. First of all, she had to make clear that that the Biden campaign is only going to increase taxes on the extremely wealthy. For those people that make $400,000 or more, they are planning to increase taxes on those people. Also, she included that $10,000 of student loan debt across the board for everyone would be cut. That is an extremely hard line and a massive amount of debt to cut. It's very interesting that she would just jump out and say that when I haven't heard anything from Joe Biden about cutting student loan debt or anything like that. She also drew some hard lines about actual public education and saying that two-year colleges would be completely free. Public two-year colleges would be completely free. And that people that are under a certain income threshold would have four-year public colleges be completely free. Vice President Pence was asked if he believes that climate change is an existential crisis. And his response was a reiteration of Trump's stance of forest fires are caused by bad forest management, and that's how we're going to clean up the climate. It's not really what he said, but that's the only point he made about climate change, is that fires are being started and more rampant because our forest management is so bad. The only other stance or policy, whatever you want to call it, that actually happened in this debate was when both candidates were asked, was justice served for Breonna Taylor? And Kamala Harris went on about how there needs to be police reform and how they're going to decriminalize marijuana. That was a big one. She just blurted out, decriminalize marijuana, as the moderator was talking over it. But that's a big party stance to take, or a big platform stance to take. Mike Pence said yes, he trusts the judicial system and that justice was served because he knows that they did their work judiciously and they didn't just throw evidence out or things like that. I know it was super short, but that was really all the stances that were taken as far as platforms and really the only answers to questions throughout the debate. I watched the whole thing multiple times, and both candidates did really good at not answering questions. Mike Pence is an absolute professional at that because he really didn't answer anything. The only thing definitive that he actually said was that forest management could be better to prevent fires. That was really the only definitive answer he gave to a question. He did go on and on about the accomplishments of Trump and repeating some stats and things like that, some military accomplishments, stuff like that. And he did press Kamala Harris pretty hard on packing the courts. He did that to dodge a question, and he did it well. Now, if you had to pick a winner, in my objective opinion, the Trump-Pence platform came out better after this vice presidential debate. All they have to do is not blow up. That's really all they're trying to do. And really, Senator Harris should have pressed them much harder. It was really her fault that they came out better, and they really only won by default. If she had pressed on the healthcare issue and how they're going to tackle pre-existing conditions, Mike Pence has no answers for that. In my opinion, I don't think the Trump-Pence platform has an answer for pre-existing conditions at all. They say they have a plan, they say they have the plan. They haven't had a plan for 4 years now. What makes you think they have a plan today? Senator Harris had another silver bullet in her gun that she really didn't use effectively, and that was the white supremacy comments from Donald Trump's last debate. She did bring it up, and she did quote the stand back and stand by, but she let Mike Pence get off by just dismissing it and saying, that's not true. She should have pressed a little bit harder and saying, well, how is that not true? Explain to me how he did it in the last debate. And honestly, it would have gone a long way with a lot of voters. She did do the whole Joe Biden vote speech, which was pretty good. It wasn't as strong as Joe Biden's vote speech when he looked directly into the camera and told Americans to go vote. Nobody has power over you and can stop you from voting. And it was a really powerful message. She did try to do the same thing in her closing remarks, which I commend her for, but it didn't really stick as much as Joe's did. The ultimate question is, did this convince anybody in the middle, to the left, or the right? And in my personal opinion, I don't believe anybody made a strong enough argument to bring anybody either more left or more right from last week's debate. The decriminalize marijuana statement is a pretty big statement, and there are people in the middle, both left and right, that want that to happen. So that could draw a few people over, but the Trump-Pence platform is not doing enough to reach out to people in the middle to win this election. In my personal opinion, they're hoping that their base shows up from 4 years ago and votes the exact same way, because all they're doing is saying, stay the course, stay the course. They're not proving to anybody that's in the middle or in the middle just to the right that they have done a really good job over the past 4 years and deserve their jobs back, at least within the context of these two debates. And of course, the highlight of everybody's debate, the fly. You thought that I was going to go this entire video without mentioning the fly? That thing looked like a black dot in the middle of a snowstorm. How could you not see it? His hair was neon white compared to that fly. And I'm not going to lie to you, I thought there was a fly on my screen. I scratched my screen that I'm sitting right in front of right now, thinking, wow, that bug needs to get off my screen before I kill it. But no, it was a black fly in the middle of his snow white hair. As always, I want to thank you for watching. It looks like Zoe decided to help me out with this video. She had to come and sit in the room with me. That's my dog Zoe, for those of you who haven't met her. I want to thank you again for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff. Make sure you comment. I want to hear your opinions. Leave something for me in the comments. I really appreciate it. As always, have a good one, and thanks everybody.